Hi, I'm Roo and I do nails. Today's paint with me is going to be the second hand of my Blue Eye Samurai inspired nail set. I already posted the video of this first hand, so if you're interested in that, go check it out on my channel. These 3 promo images were my inspiration for the entire set, and this hand is going to be inspired by this super colourful background. There's a lot going on here, but I'm going to work from back to front, starting off with these mountains and the village below. Working with a reddish colour palette, I'm starting off by drawing the mountain range across all 5 nails. I'm then going in with my thin liner brush to make the shape of the mountains a little bit more interesting, and a larger brush to fill in the bulk of the mountains below. I use some darker red and brown shades to add dimension to the mountain and give them a little bit more depth. Afterwards, it's time to start on the houses below. I want these to seamlessly blend in with the mountains, so I'm using the same colours, just mixed together in different amounts to get a range of shades. And with that, I have a subtle background that looks like this. I'm then going to add in this ground to add some perspective to the image. I've mixed up a dark ochre yellow, and I am making sure that the ground matches on each of the nails so that it looks like it flows from one to the other. I'm then going to highlight the edge of the ground and blend it in with a dry flat brush to make it more seamless. I'm then adding a bit more yellow to my brush and then blending that in with the white. Lastly, I'm outlining the mountains in red and blending that in to make sure that the outline of the range is really crisp. It was at this point that I slowly started to lose my mind, just adding in little bits of red every so often in order to make sure that there was so much colour variation in this otherwise very monotoned background. Here's the whole set with the backgrounds on all together. Once I was confident I wasn't going to add in any more needless shading, I added a matte top coat to all of the nails to seal in this background. A quick clean up between different stages of the project and we're ready to move on to the colourful part. I absolutely love all of the movement in this background, but I have no idea how I'm going to recreate it, and I know I'm probably not going to be able to. Every project needs a plan though, so I'm going through and I'm working out which colours I want where and using this as a guide. I'm using jelly polishes for this part of the design, and they are completely translucent so I can still see that background below. This part really was a labour of love. I added in so many different colour variations from darks to lights to try and get the same movement that is shown in the promo picture. Although mine did turn out a little bit more starry night than I intended, I really like the use of primary colours in this background. I'm using each nail to make sure that the different colours line up so it flows from one nail to the other. These jelly polishes are notoriously streaky, but I do think that works in my favour here. And for the final part of the colourful background, I've edged between each colour with white and then blending that in with a dry flat brush to make sure that the definition between the colours is really crisp. And to finish the background, I added in a matte top coat to each nail. I'm painting my accent of Mizu on my middle and ring fingers. To do this, I'm using gel paint pots. They're a lot thicker than regular gel polishes, which makes them easier to blend out and makes them opaque in one coat. The key to this process is working in layers. And this is one of the reasons that I work with gel nail polish and don't do any other kind of art. With this polish, you can cure it in small 10-second bursts when you're happy with something that you've done, and then anything that you're unhappy with afterwards you can just wipe off with alcohol. I've sped up this footage to 4 times the actual speed, but in reality this nail took me about an hour and a half. When I did this project I had a small printout of the image I was trying to follow, and this helps me keep track of proportions. Another thing that I do is work from the back of the image to the front. For this part of the portrait I'm working on the most visible part of her face. The edges are a little messy, but that's okay because I'm going to go in and add the detail in the front of the image, such as her clothes, arm and the sword. The tiny details of her face are examples where I rubbed them out a million times over before I was finally happy. And with that, enjoy watching me paint the rest of this portrait. And here's our girl all finished. This portrait is going to continue on the ring finger where I'm painting her sword. And we all know this sword has seen its fair share of blood, so I'm adding this in with a bright red paint. And with this nail done, this is the final set. This hand took a whopping 3.5 hours to complete, but I'm really happy with how these turned out, and I love how they contrast the pale background of the other hand. This is definitely my most ambitious project so far, but I really enjoyed making it, and I hope you've enjoyed watching along. If you enjoyed this video, please leave me a like and a comment, and if you want to see more projects like this, please subscribe to my channel. Okay, thanks, bye.